up guys, Rich with Southeast Auto Showroom, and today we're gonna do something that I've been wanting to do for a pretty long time now. We're gonna do a mini series on the C8 Corvette. For this video, we're just gonna kind of take you through, give you an intro to the car and what's to come in the future episodes. We've done probably 70 plus of these cars in the past 8 to 9 months. So I've got a really good grasp on what the car is as a whole, inside and out, front to back. We'll go through the entire thing so that you know exactly what you can get on the car, options-wise, equipment-wise. They're not the easiest cars to come by at your local dealership, so a lot of customers out of state, even in state, always have the questions about specifics, and you know, they haven't got the opportunity to go physically sit in one, touch one, drive one. Although you can't do that through a video, we're gonna probably be able to give you a very, very good up and personal view of everything about the car. As you can see behind me, we have quite a few variations of the car, colors, equipment. So for the purpose of these videos in the mini series, we're only going to be covering the 3LT version of the car. There is a 1, 2, and 3LT trim level of the vehicle, and there's a hardtop convertible and a coupe version of the car. Nothing wrong with the 1 or 2s. I only stock the 3LTs since we started carrying the C8. And that's because for what you get out of the car as a whole in that trim level, that's the type of caliber vehicle that I believe meshes well with our inventory. Once again, I have nothing against the 1 or 2, but it is a more baseline car. You're going to be missing a lot of key amenity features and cool stuff that the car has to offer. Now, you know, if you're only focused on a car maybe for the track or just for the looks, you could definitely get away with that in a 1 or 2 LT. But for your best bang for your buck aspect of the car, the 3LT is going to be your best choice. Okay, so we're gonna start with this guy here. This is a 2022 3LT hardtop convertible. It is a Z51 car as well. Z51 Package is Chevy's performance package that they offer for the car. It's available in all the trim levels. I do not sell one without it. My opinion is if you're gonna buy this car, you're gonna spend the money and you're gonna buy a 3LT, go for it all. Once again, nothing wrong with the car without it, but you're just gonna get a lot more usability of the car with that package. The hardtop convertible has been a huge fan favorite. It's been a hit. 90% of the cars that I sell are hardtop convertibles. That's for the simple reason of from the front to pretty much right here of the car, you keep the exact body lines of a coupe. Now, the only difference in the convertible is when you come around the back of the car, you're not gonna be able to see in to the motor, and you gain 2 winglets on the left and right side, which in my opinion, a lot of other customers' opinion, this is a really cool look for the car. It's not really a pro or con, it's really just preference, what you want out of the car. If you like this look better, or if you like the coupe look better, which is just a slick back glass and you're able to see into the motor. That's the only compromise I would say for a convertible, is you're gonna give up that ability to see to the motor. A key reason why the hardtop convertible has been the more popular choice since they released that over the coupe is because the fact that we can fully retract this top automatically with power. Now in the coupe, you're gonna be able to take this, it's almost like a target top style like they have had in the past with the coupes and the C7s and C6s, but you'd have to manually release this top, you'd have to carry it to the trunk, and then you'd have to put it back on the car manually and latch it back into place. No good if you're at a stoplight and it starts raining, or you know, maybe you only have one person, you know, you risk damaging the front and back if you get a little wobbly with the top. So, I mean, this has been a huge plus for the car, is being able to have this top just retract by full power. So if you come around the side here, you can see that all the mechanisms are enclosed, all the drainage is enclosed. It's gonna sit right on top inside, fully protected. And that's it. And it's an extremely quick top too. It's not one of these tops where we're waiting 30, 40 seconds for it to, you know, complete its function. First option I want to go over on this specific car is the Z51 package. Now that's their performance package that I had mentioned before. That to me is a must with these cars. It really does offer a lot. You know, a lot of people think, oh, when am I ever going to use the upgraded suspension or the brakes or the performance axle that it comes with? But it really does a lot of justice for the car when you do want to drive the car as it was built to be driven. You also get the performance exhaust within that. You get the Z51 spoiler, which now for 22 they have the standard height height spoiler, and then they also have a low profile Z51 spoiler. That's separate from the high wing spoiler, which is just another add-on. But the Z51, to me and to 90% of my customers, that's a must. If you're gonna get one option, get that option. Okay, so let's go ahead and start at the front of the car. We'll work our way back, and then we'll go into the interior, and we'll kind of just go through the car literally piece by piece. Starting with the front of the car, which I think is a really, really cool feature. It's something goofy, it's something small, but you know, on these high-end, really low-profile cars, the bottom of this bumper chin splitter is all ABS plastic, and it's in separated portions. It does two things. One, you're most likely gonna hit a curb at some point in time. If you do that in a Mercedes or BMW or an Audi, most of those bumpers are all molded together, thousands of dollars. You could try to repair it, but it's never gonna come perfect. This ABS plastic, I think it's a few $100 at most. Another two things up front here is that you have an extremely accurate camera system. These cameras up front will literally get the front of the chin splitter probably up to about an inch away from the curb that you're able to view on the camera system inside. You'll be able to park this thing all the way up to any curb, any parking spot perfectly every time. Another cool piece that they implemented into the front of this bumper is a license plate bracket that's integrated into the bumper. So not a lot of people know, but if you're in a state that requires a front plate, you don't have to drill into this bumper anymore. This plate right here completely pops out, and then you can go ahead and mount your license plate bracket through the holes that are completely hidden behind the flush mount plate. So there's no more damage in your bumper. There's no more worrying about patching it if you sell it to somebody that doesn't require a front plate. Another really cool feature that a lot of the higher end exotics have had is a front lift system. Now the difference between those systems are they take a pretty long time to actually lift and actually retract back down. This seems like it's almost instant. Probably about a second up, maybe 2 seconds, and then another 1.5 to 2 seconds down. So it's a very quick operation that if you see something coming up at you on the road, or if you see that you're having to go up a steep driveway or hill, you can just go ahead and click that lift button, and the whole front end will lift a couple of inches to give you that ground clearance to where you don't damage the bottom of the bumper. Another cool feature they implemented into the lift system is GPS. So if you're constantly pulling into your driveway and clicking that button every single night that you get home, the system's gonna remember that, so that every time you pull into your driveway, it's gonna go up automatically now for you. So you don't have to remember to do it every time, which is pretty cool. Okay, so now moving to the trunk of the car. There's two trunks. There's a front trunk and a rear trunk. This guy up front, nothing special, but it does have some space to utilize for a couple bags, or maybe one small carry-on if you're going to the airport, something of that nature. Nothing really to mention up front in terms of what's accessible. You have some windshield fluid and some brake fluid up front, but that's pretty much it. Everything else is paneled really nicely, so everything's enclosed in the front here. Okay, so now moving around to the side of the car, let's talk about the wheels for a second. I believe there's 5 different variations of the wheels. This is actually not a factory option. This car came with these guys right here. As you can see, this is the stock wheel in just plain silver. This is not a desirable wheel in any sense. So there are some people that like this wheel, to keep the car very subtle and kind of plain. But for the most part, everybody that buys one of the cars with this wheel want it to look something like this. What we did here was we actually powder coated the wheels in the factory carbon flash metallic, and we eliminated the machined lip that the factory option would come with. So you just get a straight black look. This is the Z51 performance brake package, so it is a bigger brake, and that's another really cool thing I think. It sets the cars apart from each other is when you do a color choice behind the wheel. Makes everything pop and come together. And they have a lot of really cool color choices too to tie in, with the car's theme. Now the trim of the car, all the pieces that you see on this car, the front grille inserts, these are all called carbon flash metallic. It's a black metallic paint that Chevy uses for all the trim pieces. Those can be optioned however you want. They can be just like this, they could be body color. I believe they offer jet black as well. So you can kind of, tweak this car however you'd like. Some people like to do everything in body color and keep the whole car one solid color. That's a pretty cool look. Roof can all be done in carbon flash metallic to give it a more aggressive look as well. So everything's very a la carte with the setup here. So you can pick and choose pretty much every single piece of the car however you want. So let's go ahead and move around to the rear of the car. What's cool about the function of this top is you keep the same trunk space pretty much as the coupe. The top sits right over where the motor would be in the coupe, where you'd be able to see it. So you still get to utilize all this trunk space back here, which it's pretty deceiving. It goes into the very bottom of the bumper, pretty much all the way down here. So we could throw duffel bags in there, suitcases, you know, whatever have you. It's a pretty deceiving trunk. And once again, you know, these guys here, they can be body color, they could be carbon flash, they could be jet black. You know, the emblem, same thing. So once again, you can tailor the car however, you know, suits you best. So your AC heated seats, these are called GT2 seats. So there's 3 variations of the seat. There's a GT1 seat, a GT2 seat, and then a competition bucket seat. The 1 comes in a 1LT. It's just a standard seat, nothing wrong with that seat, but it doesn't offer, I believe, AC or heated elements inside. Now, the GT2 seat is the preferred seat. That comes in 8 out of 10 of the cars that I sell, and that's like the go-to for the all-around comfort, you know, performance look. You can tailor it a few different ways with the color combo. And then last but not least is the competition sport seat, which can only be configured a few different ways because it uses a different material. You know, this is the best of both worlds if you go with this setup. Starting with the door panels with the contrast stitching, I mean, the leather and the durability of these panels. I'm only 5'9", so I fit, you know, well in the seat like I should. I've had customers 6'2", 6'3". It's a little tighter headroom wise, but the seat is still comfortable. Being that this is a 3LT, comes decked out inside. So we're not looking at, you know, a 1 or 2LT where we have to figure out what options it does and doesn't have. There's a Performance Series Bose system, which is really cool. Just the speaker setup alone, the grille style, everything like that they did in the car is another, you know, really thought out option that they did. Heads up display, full park view camera system. It also has the front lift. Another cool feature in this car is that it has a rear view camera built into the rear view mirror actually. What we'll do is we'll throw the top up in a second and we'll show what that looks like in the rear view. Now you can keep that on at all times. You can flip it on when you want. There's 2 rear cameras. There's the one under on top of the license plate, and there's one in the roof. When the roof's down, you're not going to be able to utilize the top one, but you still have the other one for reversing and backing into a spot. I really want you to take a good look though of the fit and finish though inside this car, because once again, all the way that the dash panels are laid out, shaped, put together, the stitching really competes with a lot of really high-end exotic tier cars that, you know, you would expect that quality in those cars. Sometimes you don't really get that in this car for this money. I think they really outdid themselves. All right, so let's go ahead and start it up. We'll give you guys a quick sound of how the car sounds when started. Okay, so now that the car started, it's gonna take a few seconds for the car to warm up. And once it warms up, since we're in touring mode, the exhaust valves are gonna be shut or at a quieter level. Chevy's always had their valved exhaust system where you can utilize the different modes to open and close the valve system. But in the C8, I feel like they've taken one step further with that just by the difference in sound. It almost sounds like the car, it's not off, but it's very quiet. And when we open the valves, it's a huge difference. So I'll give you a couple revs with it closed so you can see what I'm talking about. This is just in touring mode with the valves pretty much shut. And now we're gonna go and open them up, track mode. And you get a totally different sound and feel of the car. Performance exhaust comes built into the Z51 package. I believe you can opt for it separately if you don't get the Z51 package, but once again, it's one of those things where the Z51 package is a hefty option, but for a reason. You get a lot of equipment built into that package that if you try to piecemeal it out, you're probably only gonna save a little bit at the end of the day, and you're gonna lack a lot of equipment that you really should have as a whole. Another option that I haven't touched on yet is magnetic ride control. Now, this is a little bit of a controversy if it's an important option or not. Once again, it's not a matter of importance, it's a matter of, you know, what you're gonna be looking for out of the car, or what you're looking for in the car. The magnetic ride control is, you're really able to tell a difference when you drive the car, you know, hard, or when you're cornering a turn, you know, when you're really using the full capabilities of the car. I don't think you're really gonna notice a thing when you're cruising, or if you're on the highway, you know, or if you're in touring mode. Overall, what I'm trying to get at with these videos, and you know, aside from giving you an immense amount of detail inside and out about the car, is that for the money, I truly don't think that the cars can be beat. You're getting a brand new car at under $130,000. You know, if you're looking for that newest car that you can get with the look, the feel, the performance, you know, 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds. I mean, for, you know, under $130,000, it's kind of unbeatable of a car. This car is gonna probably check 9 out of your 10 boxes. You're still gonna be able to enjoy it because, one, it's under full factory warranty. Even if you're buying a year or two old car, you know, they still offer a crazy lengthy powertrain warranty from GM. And the problems that occur are a lot less expensive than of those exotic type cars. You can drive these cars, you can use these cars, and you don't have to be scared, you know, getting hit with that crazy service bill, because those things just don't exist in this car. All right, guys, so that's gonna be it for this video. We're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Thanks so much for watching, and make sure you go ahead and subscribe and keep watching some videos as we dive deeper into the C8.